Chapter 4 to 5 of Tristram Shandy, Volume 1. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Julie van Wallichem. The Life and Opinions of Tristram Shandy, Gentleman, Volume 1, by Laurence Sterne. Chapter 4. I know there are readers in the world, as well as many other good people in it, who are no readers at all, unless they are let into the whole secret from first to last of everything which concerns you. It is in pure compliance with this humour of theirs, and from a backwardness in my nature, to disappoint any one soul living, that I have been so very particular already. As my life and opinions are likely to make some noise in the world, and, if I conjecture right, will take in all ranks, professions, and denominations of men whatever, be no less read than the Pilgrim's Progress itself, and in the end prove the very thing which Montaigne dreaded his essays should turn out, that is, a book for a parlour window, I find it necessary to consult every one a little in his turn, and therefore must beg pardon for going on a little farther in the same way. For which cause right glad I am, that I have begun the history of myself in the way I have done, and that I am able to go on, tracing everything in it, as Horace says, ab ovo. Horace, I know, does not recommend this fashion altogether. That gentleman is speaking only of an epic poem or a tragedy, I forget which. Besides, if it was not so, I should beg Mr. Horace's pardon, for in writing what I have set about, I shall confine myself neither to his rules, nor to any man's rules that ever lived. To such, however, as do not choose to go so far back into these things, I can give no better advice than that they skip over the remaining part of this chapter, for I declare beforehand 'tis wrote only for the curious and inquisitive. Shut the door. I was begotten the night betwixt the first Sunday and the first Monday in the month of March, in the year of our Lord 1718. I am positive I was. But how I came to be so very particular in my account of a thing which happened before I was born, is owing to another small anecdote, known only in our own family, but now made public for the better clearing up this point. My father, you must know, who was originally a Turkey merchant, but had left off business for some years in order to retire to and die upon his paternal estate in the country of —, was, I believe, one of the most regular men in everything he did, whether it was matter of business or matter of amusement, that ever lived. As a small specimen of this extreme exactness of his, to which he was in truth a slave, he had made it a rule for many years of his life, on the first Sunday night of every month throughout the whole year, as certain as ever the Sunday night came, to wind up a large house clock which we had standing on the back stairs head, with his own hands. And being somewhere between 50 and 60 years of age at the time I have been speaking of, he had likewise gradually brought some other little family concernments to the same period, in order, as he would often say to my uncle Toby, to get them all out of the way at one time, and be no more plagued and pestered with them the rest of the month. It was attended but with one misfortune, which in a great measure fell upon myself, and the effects of which I fear I shall carry with me to my grave, namely, that from an unhappy association of ideas which have no connection in nature, it so fell out at length that my poor mother could never hear the said clock wound up, but the thought of some other things unavoidably popped into her head, and vice versa, which strange combination of ideas the sagacious Locke, who certainly understood the nature of these things better than most men, affirms to have produced more right actions than all other sources of prejudice whatsoever. But this by the by. Now it appears by a memorandum in my father's pocket-book, which now lies upon the table, that on Lady Day, which was on the 25th of the same month in which I date my genitor, my father set upon his journey to London with my eldest brother Bobby to fix him at Westminster School, and as it appears from the same authority, that he did not get down to his wife and family till the 2nd week in May following. It brings the thing almost to a certainty. However, what follows in the beginning of the next chapter puts it beyond all possibility of a doubt. But pray, sir, what was your father doing all December, January, and February? Why, madam, he was all that time afflicted with the sciatica. Chapter 5. On the 5th day of November, 1718, which to the area fixed on was as near 9 calendar months as any husband could in reason have expected, was I, Tristram Shandy, gentleman, brought forth into this scurvy and disastrous world of ours. I wish I had been born in the moon, or in any of the planets, except Jupiter or Saturn, because I never could bear cold weather. For it could not well have fared worse with me in any of them, though I will not answer for Venus, than it has in this vile dirty planet of ours, which, on my conscience, with the reverence be it spoken, I take to be made up of the shreds and clippings of the rest. Not but the planet is well enough, provided man could be born in it to a great title or to a great estate, or could anyhow contrive to be called up to public charges and employments of dignity or power. But that is not my case, and therefore every man will speak of the fair as his own market has gone in it. For which cause I affirm it over again to be one of the vilest worlds that ever was made. For I can truly say that from the first hour I drew my breath in it to this, that I can now scarce draw it at all, for in asthma I got in skating against the wind in Flanders. I have been the continual sport of what the world calls fortune, and though I will not wrong her by saying she has ever made me feel the weight of any great or signal evil, yet with all the good temper in the world I affirm it of her, that in every stage of my life, and at every turn and corner, where she could cut fairly at me, the ungracious Duchess has pelted me with a set of as pitiful misadventures and cross accidents as ever small hero sustained. End of chapters 4 to 5.